Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what a credit score is, what a good credit score looks like, and why it's important for you to keep an eye on your credit score. I'm also going to share in today's video how I was able to find an error on my credit history report and how fixing that error helped me boost my credit score by 150 points. So if you like to learn how, then keep on watching and I hope you enjoy it. So, a lot of you are probably wondering, what exactly is a credit score and why do I care? So, a credit score is a number that represents your financial health. So essentially, it indicates how likely you're going to be able to make payments to your creditors or lenders. So for example, if you want to apply for a mortgage in order to buy a house, or if you want to apply for an automobile loan, then they're going to take a look at your credit score to see how reliable you are in order for them to lend you the money. So essentially, credit score indicates how likely you are going to be able to make payments on time or to default on your loans. So credit score can range anywhere from 300 to 900, 300 being the lowest and 900 being the highest. So if you think about it, the median, the magic number, right in the middle is 650. So if you have a credit score of anywhere between 300 and 650, that means you have some work that you need to do in order to boost your credit score. But if you have credit score of anywhere between 650 to 900, it means that you have either good or excellent credit score. So now that you have a better understanding of what a credit score is and why it's important for you to keep an eye out for it, I'd like to share a story of how I was able to find an error on my credit report. So about a year ago, I applied for a credit card application. And essentially, it was an online process which took me 2 minutes to fill out everything. And within a couple months, I actually received a rejection letter from the bank saying that they couldn't grant the application, so they couldn't issue the credit card that I applied for. I was very puzzled because I'm the type of person who normally pays my bills on time, and I didn't have any credit card debt, so I couldn't understand why I was rejected for this credit card that I applied for. Upon further investigation, I basically ordered a free credit history report from Equifax, and I took a look at my credit history and what kind of loans that I had at the time. Nothing really stood out until I got to the last page. So in the last section of the credit, I noticed that there was a creditor named Rogers Communications, and there was a debt collection in the amount of $2,500 under my name. And this really surprised me because I've never been a customer at Rogers, and as I'm with TELUS, and I just couldn't understand why there was a debt collection made under my name. So I had to call the debt collecting agency, which made a claim on behalf of Rogers. So what they do is, if they have any customers with outstanding balances who refuses to pay back their amounts, then Rogers contracts those customers and their information out to the third-party agency, in which case they try to recollect any of the outstanding amounts. And I guess in this case, if they don't hear back from the customers upon further notice, then they post these amounts, these debt collection amounts on your credit score. So essentially, there was some kind of a mistake or error. I didn't know if it was a credit fraud or an identity theft. So I got really concerned because I just wasn't sure why exactly I had debt collection under my name. So the next steps that I took after talking to the third-party agency, Rogers, and finding out that the reference number that they gave me belonged to another customer with the same last name, I knew right away that this was an error and had to be rectified. So I called Equifax, and I called them numerous times, but there was a really long wait, and it was really hard to get a hold of any of the representatives, and they kept on replying to me saying that a senior specialist needs to take further look at the case and then they need to make adjustments, but those people that were on the phone weren't able to make any changes as necessary. So I kept on waiting, didn't hear anything back for weeks, and it really worried me because at the time I was thinking of applying for another credit card and I just wasn't sure if it was gonna go through with my credit history of debt collection. So what I did was I actually reached out to Rogers, specifically President's office, because at this point I've already tried Rogers collections office, I've already tried Rogers, different departments within Rogers, and nobody was able to help me. And I was running out of ideas, but as a last resort, I decided to reach out to the President's office at Rogers, and I was so lucky that I got connected to this representative who was very sincere, and he understood right away what the problem was, and he was able to escalate it from his side in order to get hold of a specialist that could really fix the problem right away. So I was able to fix my credit report and remove the debt collection from my credit report, which boosted my credit score by 150 points. And the biggest irony out of all of this is that even though I was being told that I need to contact Equifax, like I never really heard anything back from them. It was actually a lot quicker for Rogers to get hold of their connection on the Equifax in order to make adjustments, and I'm really thankful that I really was able to get a hold of somebody who really understood my situation and was able to help me right away. Without the help from Rogers' President's office, I'm not sure how long the process could have taken. But the lesson learned here is really for you to have a really good understanding of what the problem is, and if possible, try to ask the creditor for help. Like, for example, if there's any errors and if it's not your debt and if it's not your fault that it's been posted wrongfully under your credit history, ask for help. Like ask creditors, ask the collecting agencies, see if there's any kind of help that they can offer, if they know of anyone else who could help you. From this story, my lessons learned is that, first of all, you should monitor your credit score. If there's a big drop, in your credit score, something must be going on. So take a note of it. Even if it's just once a year, just check in regularly to make sure that you understand where your credit score is. And because of that paranoia and that incident that I experienced, I actually signed up for online credit score check, so with Mogo. So Mogo actually sends my credit score on a monthly basis if there's any changes, so then I can keep track of where it's at, and I can see the history of my credit score just by logging into their website. So I wanted to share this story with you today to let you know that even if you are really good at paying bills and you haven't made any late payments, things could still happen that can impact and drop your credit score dramatically. So I think it's a really good practice for you to keep track of, where your credit score is, and to just order a credit report on an annual basis just to keep an eye out. So I hope you found this video useful, and let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!